Hey everybody, I hope you made your fantasy playoffs. And if so, I kind of hope you don't need the waiver wire too much, but maybe you're a big underdog, maybe you're fighting off injuries, or maybe you just need to switch things up, and we have got you covered. Hello there, I am Chris. Thank you for watching. Thank you for continuing to subscribe to the channel and support the sponsors. We really do appreciate it. And I will kick off this waiver conversation by saying I'm recording this before 3 games have not happened, Monday and Tuesday. So there's a pretty good chance the waiver wire is going to change by the time you need to make your claims. And if that is the case, by all means, take what we say here and what we show you here with a serious dose of reality, but also there's potentially some changes, and tune in to the Tuesday podcast, my podcast at harrisfootball.com. That's where we'll give an updated list. I think Jake Steely will be my guest, so you'll hear Jake's waiver ads as well. You can find full details about the podcast at harrisfootball.com. For now, for what we know as of right now on Monday afternoon, let us look at a list of potential waiver ads in shallower leagues. I think we've shown enough Cam Akers film on the channel the past month to be convinced that when he gets 7 carries inside the 10-yard line against the Cardinals and dominates snaps like he did, even in a tough matchup against the Patriots Thursday night, you should think about starting Cam Akers. I'll get to Hilton in a second. Snell is on here, even though, as I say, as of my recording, I don't know how he performed against Washington, but James Conner may still be out with COVID. Nelson Aguilar didn't get the game winner Sunday. Really could have if you watched it. The play before the game winner, he was open for a long bomb. And yeah, he's the guy Derek Carr looks for deep, even if Henry Ruggs got to play the hero against the Jets. And I have Lindsey on here because he's a good player, and his knee was healthy enough to go on Sunday night. Not a great result, but I think he will be heard from again. All right, to T.Y. Hilton, and this is how it started for him on Sunday. First drive, good defense, actually, really tight window, throw, and, go get it where only you can get it. For sure, Hilton looks big Sunday in the box score, but trust me, it wasn't stat padding. It was legit stuff. And here's how that first Colts drive ended, and it's not an extraordinary route or anything, but it's a touchdown. What I noticed right away, the Colts came into this game deciding to manufacture touches for T.Y. Hilton in a way that they just have not been doing. This one on a 3rd and long, initially called incomplete, but overturned on replay, and we just haven't seen Hilton looking this spry, this tough all season. Indy came out and fed Hilton 5 targets in the first quarter, 5 more in the second quarter. We like it when it's obviously part of the game plan. I mean, this route, everything about it looks like old T.Y. If this game had been week 1, we'd all be like, awesome, that means Hilton is healthy, and he's got good chemistry with Rivers. Dude, he's right back to being a wide receiver 2 like we've always known. Now, it's not week 1, but this route, it's really good stuff. Is it fair to say that you want to see more before you trust T.Y. Hilton? Absolutely, but we're kind of running out of time. I don't know if this is a 1-week thing, but it leapt off the screen when I watched the film how much more agile and frankly threatening Hilton looked. For week 14 against the Raiders, good chance I'll have Hilton ranked above Michael Pittman. And, we'll hope we're getting a big push for T.Y. as he heads into free agency. He's 31. I don't imagine he's going to be great in the future, but maybe he bottles something here in December. Okay, we'll get to more waiver stuff in just a second. First, let's thank our sponsor, and this is my Gravity blanket. It has some serious heft to it. They're a great sponsor. If you're someone who fights insomnia, you really should know about Gravity blankets. Gravity Blanket is the only weighted blanket brand that's been through actual trials and actually works to help people sleep better. They ran a program with a sleep lab, and they found out that people get deeper and more restful sleep. And 86% of customers would recommend it to a friend. I can tell you from experience, it's sort of like being swaddled as an adult. It gets your key pressure points related to relaxation and mood. Plus, they just introduced the world's first weighted robe, which I also have, also relaxing to wear. Give the gift of better sleep either to yourself or to a loved one who sometimes struggles to sleep or maybe just has a lot of stress. Plus save 25% all holiday season at gravityblankets.com when you use the promo code HarrisTube. Okay, so now let's talk about some Deeper League ads, and we're going to count down the best ads so far from 5 to 1. At number 5, I'm going to give you a streaming quarterback because it's kind of that time of year when we need to be paring down and really figuring out if we're really going to use some of our bench guys in our fantasy playoff games. You know that we like this guy around these parts. Number 5 on my list is Tua Tagovailoa. This kind of play is the best of what Tua offers, and when he got untracked on Sunday, we saw more of his mobility, his accuracy, throwing on the run. This one to Myles Gaskin, who'd gotten behind the Cincinnati linebackers. It's really the heart of what the Dolphins, I think, eventually envisioned their offense being. Okay, maybe Tua isn't going to be a Kyler Murray level runner for fantasy, but scrambling to throw with, all kinds of misdirection and lateral movement, a pretty horizontal offense, it suits Tua's athleticism and it sets up stuff like this next play. Safeties are playing up. Jakeem Grant just runs a dead fly route, and Tua absolutely lays it on him perfectly. This should have been a 91-yard touchdown if Grant had caught it. The thing that has stood out to me throughout this rookie growing pain stuff is throwing accuracy, even with the bad wrist. For Tua, that's a pretty great throw. And he'll take the deep post against cover 2. He'll lay it out there. I mean, this is a great catch by Mike Gesicki. Gesicki not available in enough fantasy leagues to make him a waiver claim, but if he's out there in your league, go get him too. Tua played well. Gesicki also played well. And no question, week 14, the Chiefs, that is a huge step up in weight class compared to the Bengals. But there's a better than even chance the Chiefs are going to score points and demand the Dolphins do too. So I can see Tua as a streamer. He'd probably be my choice if you have to stream this week. And certainly I think Gesicki is a fantasy starter this week as well. But since I can't give you Gesicki as a waiver wire ad owned in 72% of Yahoo leagues, here is your potential streaming tight end. I would prefer Jordan Reed. Actually, he hasn't played yet in week 13 as of my recording this. So let's talk Bears rookie Cole Kmet. Here's his touchdown again. And what we're liking here is, they're in the red zone. They're designing a play for Cole Kmet. And I'm not going to tell you that Kmet is a sure thing, because he's very much not, I'm sure. He probably will struggle to get inside my top 15 tight ends this week. But I'll tell you, he'll be above Jimmy Graham. He's a big kid. He's not making a ton of plays by running routes just yet. Mitch Trubisky could use all the dump-off candidates he can get. Kmet played 53 snaps on Sunday. Graham played 32. A torch is being passed. And I'll just remind you, from a couple of weeks ago, there were signs of life against the Packers. This is a blown throw, so it's not a ringing endorsement of his situation, but Kmet could have had a long touchdown here. Texans next week. Kmet is a sleeper streamer. Okay, at number 3, I will offer you Kiki Cutie with a warning that of his 141 yards on Sunday, the biggest chunk came on this play, which is clearly more about Deshaun Watson being an absolute badass in the pocket and QT being wide open as a result. But opportunity matters, no question, and QT does have opportunity. And let's be fair to QT. This was his other big catch Sunday, and it's a good throw, but it's a really tough catch of the variety that, let's face it, he hasn't been known for so far in his NFL career. Brandon Cooks suffered a maybe concussion. He came back in the game in the third quarter, but that opens even more opportunity. We need to realize what we're dealing with in QT. Most of his 3-year career, he's either been hurt or dropping passes or fumbling. He's been much hyped in past fantasy circles. He's purely a slot player. He's a little guy who probably was approaching just about his last chance in the NFL, and that chance includes the doghouse that resulted from a fumble 6 against the Ravens just this year back in September. But he did make this play against the Patriots a couple of weeks ago, and no Will Fuller, no Randall Cobb, no Kenny Stills, and we're not sure about Brandon Cooks. I like QT I think I like him more than Chad Hansen, who also had some numbers on Sunday. As a speculative ad, I can deal with it. But my preferred receiver ad for Week 13 is someone we've talked about for ages on the podcast, Tim Patrick of the Broncos. This first touchdown Sunday night wasn't a special athletic play, but again, we don't mind when they manufacture touches for our guys. Suffice it to say, however, his second touchdown, that's a special athletic play. And it's not an isolated incident. I've said this on the podcast a bunch of times too. I know Jerry Jeudy comes with great hype and potential, but the best Denver receiver right now, and the only one you should be considering for fantasy right now, is Tim Patrick. So going back a couple of weeks, here he's slot right and play action works to draw the linebackers up. I think it's a fair criticism to say that Patrick probably isn't a superstar. He probably doesn't have a lot of moves to get off against bump coverage, and he's not a blazing fast guy, but he's 6'4" and 212 pounds, so get him in the open field, and there's a chance. No Denver receiver has a high floor with Drew Lock. You're certainly taking your life into your hands using any of them, and Judy's future may wind up much brighter, but right now, Jeudy sort of looks lost a bunch of the time, and Patrick is good for 60 yards each week and maybe a score. He'll be in the mix to be a wide receiver 3 against the Panthers in Week 14. And if you're looking for a running back who's widely available, well, Frank Gore suffered this injury on his first carry of the game on Sunday, suffered a concussion, and we don't know yet if he'll be able to play against Seattle in Week 14. And in his place, Ty Johnson got 22 carries, got over the 100-yard mark, and yeah, the Raiders aren't great on defense, but you can't fake physicality at the tackling point, and Johnson is short, but he's not huge, but he's strong. You can see on this touchdown, he's got a nice little hesitation. That's not the hard part. I can hesitate, but he can get back going again pretty quickly. And here it is again, being afforded some decent room by a previously inept offensive line, which does make you think about the Raiders' run defense, but Johnson gets going again after the initial move. If we were trying to turn Frank Gore into an unpalatable but necessary dude in fantasy lineups for Week 13, Johnson's more palatable to me because he can run. He's fast. I was never the most excited about him in the quest to replace an injured Kerryon Johnson last year in Detroit, but it was weird. The Lions kept trying to replace him with Bo Scarborough or whatever. Johnson is a 4.45 guy. His speed is real. Speed is not an issue with him. For sure, durability might be. He's a little upright. He suffered a concussion with the Lions last year. You can see that his strategy is run real fast right at people, and he will take some big hits, but he can also make a few big plays. The leading question is whether Gore can get healthy soon enough to return. LaMichael Pirine isn't eligible to play Week 14. He has a high ankle sprain anyway. Josh Adams also got some run for the Jets. The Seahawks aren't a great matchup. The Jets don't have good matchups, right? You have to hope the game is close enough that they can keep running. It's not optimal, but I just saw Wayne Gallman do work against Seattle. And listen, so these are the Yahoo ownership percentages as of our recording this. It's not your preferred angle of approach in a fantasy playoff game to use Ty Johnson or any Jets running back, but the desperate among us, they're the only ones scouting the waiver wire as it is right now, right? And if you're desperate for a running back, I'd say among the possible lightly owned RB solutions out there, Johnson's the one who stands out as an emergency ad. But of course, as I said earlier, we don't know whether the Monday games or the Tuesday game might harbor some interesting waiver candidates, so please do check out the podcast, harrisfootball.com. On Tuesday, we'll talk about the 2 Monday games, and then on Wednesday, I'll talk about the Tuesday game. It's all very complicated. I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. It would really help us out a lot. Also, support the sponsors, because that's how this channel happens. You're not paying for this, and we aren't doing it for free. So, Gravity Blankets, if you know anybody who has insomnia problems, if you just are stressed, it works. You put that thing on you, and you will feel more relaxed. Thank you to Gravity Blankets for sponsoring, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace out. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.